Okay, we're good. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I was having issues on my computer for some reason. It wasn't saying I was live on YouTube, but then I realized I was. It just, for some reason, hadn't loaded properly, so all good. So welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully having a good day. Just make sure that I don't have any weird desktop audio coming through. It's all good. Oh no, that's all good. Let me know if I think the audio should be sweet. I don't think it's too low. It just looked a bit low for a second there. I'm just making sure I've got everything right on this screen over here. Okay, we're all good. Awesome. Okay, just got a phone notification. Yeah, so welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully having a good day. I know it's Thanksgiving currently in America. I just don't know what time it is. I guess it's like early afternoon in most places, maybe early evening. So you probably wouldn't be eating, if you are in America, you wouldn't be eating Thanksgiving, or having Thanksgiving, wouldn't be having Thanksgiving dinner for like a couple of hours. So yeah, all good. So welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully having a good day, especially if you're in America, I guess, because it's a public holiday, so you're having the day off, which I guess you're all enjoying. 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh, okay, so what would it be, like 4:30 in New York and East Side, I guess? Still a couple of hours, I guess, unless you're having an early dinner. So hopefully you all enjoy that. Obviously, everyone asked me, like, I had like multiple messages on Twitter saying Happy Thanksgiving page. I'm like, dude, live in Australia. We literally have nothing to do with that. So I don't know why you'd message me that anyway. What's our version of Thanksgiving? I guess Australia Day, but we don't do anything like that. Probably Christmas is probably the closest thing that we have to Thanksgiving. You guys having like turkey and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good day. We'll talk about some, we'll talk about the episodes from this week. If anyone wants to, like, obviously, talk about them. Obviously, that's a good topic to talk about because especially there was some. We'll jump into. That'll be our first topic because I want to get your guys' opinions on this as well because I am sort of. The past two episodes of Flash have been such confusing ones, not in regards to the plot, but just the reception of them outside of the show. So we'll talk about that in a second. But to begin with, keep the chat nice and civil. I've already seen like two smartasses come in and try and be edgy and just try and be funny. Obviously they failed because no one laughed. So try not to be like them because you don't want to be a loser, so try and avoid that. So try and be nice and civil in chat. Obviously it's a public holiday in America if you're there, so try to have a nice day. Yeah, all of that. If you want to help support the channel, you want to get your question 100% answered, or your comment 100% read out. I have to always think about what I'm saying there. You can super chat by clicking the little, it's like a little dollar emblem down near the text box. You can click that and you can donate through those means. It supports the channel. Or you can click the link at the top of the description, which does say streamlabs.com/pagey, and you can donate through those means as well, or either, one of the two. But yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. Obviously still got some people coming in, so welcome. From New York, that's Atatiana. I'm so terrible with names. I'm so sorry. That's not the. Obviously, that's not the. I'm not even gonna pretend like I pronounced that correctly. I'm really sorry about that. But I was referencing you. So that's from New York. I saw someone else. I think they said they were in California, Boston, Mexico. That's pretty cool. Always wanted to go to Mexico. Might go to Mexico next year if I can. Have to wait and see. Nevada, obviously Las Vegas. Went to Vegas last year when I was in America, which was a lot of fun. Texas, England. Obviously, I was waiting for some like European people to come in here because it was all like English people. Not English people. Sorry, Americans. Whether it be North or South. Not South. Mexico's in North America, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. I just woke up. If you're wondering, I'm a bit all over the joint. So I just saw some. There's one question here which I will answer quickly. Jessica asked why I don't make Supergirl videos anymore. Jessica's from Dublin, Ireland. It's mainly just because, I really actually wanted to review last week's episode. It just got to the point where I was sort of out of schedule with it. I probably will jump back into it in the second half of this season. I just felt like the beginning half of this, it just got a bit not my thing. I was still watching it. I just wasn't watching it straight away to review it. So I'll probably pick up Supergirl again when it comes back from its mid-season break. And I'll probably go strong with that until the end of the season. It's just that, I just didn't feel like reviewing it at that time, but I'll probably pick it up again. Okay, so the first thing, we got, New Zealand. It's really warm up in Antarctica. Well, Antarctica's down, so not sure what I guess I don't know. I guess it matters where you are in the world, where it is in relation to you. Michigan, Wigan. I wonder if you support rugby league there in Wigan, Andes. Liverpool, Vietnam, Toronto, Awesome. So it's a very multicultural live stream we have here. A lot of people from different places. New Orleans, Chicago. It's cold in the UK. Well, it's hot in Australia. It's only 7:30 and it's already hot. I wish I had the fan on. But anyway, so the first thing I wanted to talk about before we jump into anything that questions people might ask is, okay, so episode 5 was All Dolled Up. Now, All Dolled Up was, I think, let me bring it up. I'm actually interested. I'm actually interested. What am I doing? I can't even type. IMDb, The Flash. I use IMDb because it usually gathers a couple of things together. Okay, so while it's loading, episode 5 of The Flash was one of the most controversial episodes I've ever seen in regards to divisiveness. Either people disliked it or... okay, let me rephrase that. People either thought it was the worst episode of the season or people either thought it was the best episode of the season. There was hardly any middle ground. There was. I'm not saying there wasn't any because there obviously was. It'd be impossible for there to be like a zero middle ground where people thought it was like maybe like the second best or third episode, the third best episode of the season. But for the most part, if you're gonna like maybe 90% of the people that watched the episode, half of them thought it was or some of them thought it was the worst episode of the season. Some of them thought it was the best episode of the season, and it seemed to continue on with the episode this week, where people thought it was the best episode of the season, and then others thought it was the worst episode of the season. So I'm confused. I've never seen two divisive episodes or so divisive episodes in a row, and I was just wondering your guys' opinions. Like, did you think either of them was the worst, or did you think either of them was the best? Let me know in the comments, because last episode, All Dolled Up, I thought was just a waste. I think they wasted Ragdoll. Now, I understand why they probably wasted him in certain parts, because he's gonna come back, most likely. Especially with that bonus scene that they released. There's Cal in the background being an idiot. But he's most likely going to come back, so maybe I can understand why they didn't do a lot with him. But it just felt like that episode wasn't the best written episode. But I think this week's episode... so I'm just reading through the chat. I don't think this episode, the Icicle Comet, was the best episode of the season. How I think it was probably probably the second best. I don't think it was the best. I still think maybe like Death of Vibe or the first episode was the best. But Icicle Comet, the episode we had this week, I think was probably number 2 in my opinion. I hate that they deleted that scene. I'm confused why they did that, because especially in All Dolled. I think maybe that was one thing that sort of like maybe a bit more angry. It was like there was so much in that All Dolled episode which you could have cut out. I can think of 2 scenes off the top of my head which were pointless because they were just reiterating information that we already knew. And it's like, do they think we're stupid or something? But that's already happened. So I'm just looking up the stream chat. 5 was okay, 6 was really good. Yeah, that's the thing. When I said that, so some people thought like when I said episode 5 was my worst episode for the season, I wasn't calling it bad. It was just that out of the episodes we've had this season, it was probably the worst. Maybe episode 2 could give a run for its money because episode 2 was a bit poor. But I just thought like episode 5 was a bit meh. It was just like super meh. Like nothing really amazing that happened. But the response from it was just like, I was like staggered, just like the divisiveness from it. Which I guess shows I think the issues with maybe the Flash fan base at the moment, where it is so split and like they try to do different storylines and people either hate on them either way. So it's one of those things where maybe the Flash writers can't win in a situation. However, I do think the Flash writers aren't doing that great of a job with certain things this season. Some things, yes. Some things, or other things, no. But here we go. So, Cal, he's squeaking his little toy. Like, here he comes. There he goes running past. He's being an idiot. He's trying to get attention. Anyway, so I got IMDb. I almost said IMDb up. So Nora, so episode 1, Death of Vibe, episode 3. You can't see my thumb, 3, and the Icicle Comet, which is episode 6. All are tied for the highest rated episodes of this season. And then we have, wow, I'm actually surprised by that. So episode 4. The episode, News Flash, where you had Spin and like Nora was there and the whole thing with her mother and stuff. That's the lowest episode. That's the lowest rated episode of the season, which I'm very surprised with. Cal?
This house is bitchin'.
I thank you, Kindo Spoon. We'll get into that in a second. But that's the lowest rated episode of the season, which I'm surprised with. But yeah, so 1, 3, and 6 are the highest rated episodes of the season. 2 and 5 are tied on 8.1. I thought those were similar quality. Newsflash, I'm surprised with. I guess not much happened in the episode, maybe, apart from Nora blowing up at her mother. But yeah, I don't know. Episode 10 is called Spin Out. Yeah, there's still some confusion whether that is about Spin, because it just could be something else. But I don't know. I had a look at the girl that played Spin, Kiana Madeira, I think her name is. I was looking at her Instagram to see if she was in Vancouver around that time. But from what I know, they filmed episode 10 really quickly. They filmed episode 10 super quickly because they moved into episode 11 and they just started episode 12. And you got to remember, they only finished the crossover like a couple of weeks back. So they moved into they did episode 10 fairly quickly. What am I doing? I can't see things. It's because I'm not on the right tab over here. I'll just get into some super chats. I'm just looking at the chat now. Can Vibe still use his powers after the dagger cut him? He still has it. Yeah, there's some confusion around that. He can still use his powers. It's just that they're inaccurate. They're a bit... How you going? They leak almost. That's probably the best way to put it. Where are we? Kindo Spoonie, I guess is the best way to pronounce it. Donated £3. Thank you very much for that, Kindo. What are your thoughts on next week's episode? I'm looking forward to it. People don't like Cicada that much. I'm probably a pro Cicada person. I think he's actually a decent villain because he's grounded. He's not some overpowered thing. His plan isn't to destroy the world. It's pretty simple. It's getting revenge on the people that took his people. Now, obviously, you could be, oh, it's political. It's like, oh. But anyway, it's genocide against metahumans or something. But, you know, it's obvious that his daughter is either going to die or, you know, is severely injured by the incident, the satellite incident, which obviously, you know, caused by a couple of metas. And then who knows what happened to his wife as well. We know his wife's dead. I think in the scene from last episode, they reference his wife being dead. And we do see that photo of his family on that little mantelpiece there, and obviously she's not around. You know, it'd be weird if she was and there was no interaction between her and Orlin, aka Cicada. So I'm looking forward to these flashbacks. I always enjoy flashbacks with the Flash because they just flesh out stuff that in a quick way. Like the DeVoe flashbacks from last season, that episode, one of the best episodes of the season, probably top 3. So I'm hoping this episode does the same and fleshes out his character more. And yeah, and also we have Weather Witch and Weather Wizard coming in as well. So I'm looking forward to all of that as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it because Weather Witch and Weather Wizard aren't in the trailer at all. Like, you know, I'm surprised Weather Wizard was in the trailer. Like, fair enough, Weather Witch not being there, but the only hint at Weather Wizard or Weather Witch in the trailer is when Barry's standing there and Nora comes past and that lightning comes down. That's the only hint at them. So I was surprised they weren't hinted at the trailer even more, even just a shot of them. So anyway, Scott with the £2 as well. Thank you very much for that, Scott. I think Flash has been poor this year so far. I don't think it's been poor. I just think it hasn't met the expectations I think a lot of people had. Like, really going into season 5, when you saw that trailer, when you just left off with the idea of Nora being from the future and all this stuff, I don't think it's met that. However, I always say this, and it'd be hypocritical for me to say, oh, this is a terrible season. I always say, wait till the end. Because people bag out season 4. I think season 4 had a really good wrap up, and it's led to all this stuff in season 5, which people are enjoying. It's so hypocritical when people say, oh, season 4 sucked, nothing happened. Everything happening in season 5 is because of season 4. And no one's admitting that. And it's just ridiculous that people still bag out season 4. So because of that, and like, once again, people have come around and said, okay, season 4 was actually decent and I actually enjoyed it. They didn't say it was their favourite, which I agree with. It wasn't my favourite. I think it's better than season 3, but I don't think it even matches season 2 or 1. But what was I going to say? This season, I think they might be doing a slow burn. Which I'm fine with as long as it's worth it. If it's worth it, then I'm fine. It's just that maybe it isn't meeting some people's expectations because I have seen a lot of people saying it's boring. I don't necessarily think it's boring. I just don't think it's hitting, the storytelling beats that maybe like Arrow's doing, where every episode of Arrow, like something's happening that's relevant to the story. Flash, it's not filler every week. It just seems like it's a slow burn, as I was saying before. Sorry, I'm just looking through the chat. How is my dog? He's good. I don't know where he's gone now. He might have gone outside for a second. I'm not too sure. Mr. President needs to sleep. Good night. Oh, good night, Mr. President. Don't think you're president anymore, Mr. Oh, no, that's Donald Trump. I don't know why. I thought it was Obama in that profile picture. Don't judge me for that. Is it true Green Lantern is in crossover for a brief second? I have no idea. Literally, I've never heard that. If someone's saying that, it's most likely clickbait. It's Nora's drama. Maybe. I think it's just more, as I said, it's like a slow burn. Nothing's really over the top happening. It's just really little hints. But hopefully the 100th episode reveals some of that. We know that in the 100th episode, Sherlock is most likely going to reveal to Iris either, well, something's up with Nora, and then Nora might have to reveal herself what's going on. And that could be, they did say there's a massive twist in episode 8, aka the 100th episode, which leads into the back half of the season. So I'm guessing we learn who is working with, or who was like, who one told like Nora her speed, and who like gave her the relevant information to come back and all of that. So we'll most likely find out who that is. But yeah. Anthony Leon with the $2. Thank you very much for that, Anthony. What do you think about this season? I'm like, well, there's two contrasting questions. Well, there's ones, yeah, that go against each other. Well, as I said, I don't think it's, people are saying it's boring. I don't think it's that boring. I'm still enjoying it. I just don't think it's hitting the levels that maybe people were expecting. Just because of all, as I was saying before, like the future stuff and all the potential there. But as I said, it'd be hypocritical for me to go, oh, this season sucks now, which I don't think it does, regardless. But it's always good to, you know, wait till you get through the majority of the season. But yeah. So let me go through the chat again. But thank you very much for that, Anthony, Scott, and I've missed Maddie's super chat. Sorry for that, Maddie. I just realised. That was with the €5. Do you think they will try to put Supergirl on Earth 1 in the Elseworlds crossover? Probably not, because it's middle of the way through the season. Unless Supergirl ends, like it closes up every storyline in its mid-season finale before the Elseworlds crossover, then maybe. But if it doesn't, then I wouldn't be expecting anything like that. I do have a video coming out this weekend because I did reveal some information about the Crisis, on like the future, or the timing of when the Crisis event could happen on the show. So I'll have a video out on that either tomorrow or the next day. So keep your eyes out for that, which gives us a hint as to when certain things will happen. But in regards to the Elseworlds crossover, I think they're more likely going to tease the Crisis stuff rather than do anything with it. However, we could see an Earth destroyed because that Black Superman's there, which does look like it's going to be Superman Prime. And he's just basically a world destroyer, so he can destroy a world by basically clapping. So we might see that happen. I just don't think it'll be any Earth that we're used to being on. So like Supergirls or Earth 1. Callum with the £2. Do you think they'll ever kill Barry? Probably not, because Wally's so poorly developed that you couldn't really do anything in having like Wally take over the mantle. So I think Barry's sweet until maybe like the series finale. Then he could possibly die. But apart from that, I think he should be sweet. That's just basically the best way to put it. Just let me go through the chat because I missed a couple of things. Is Reverse Flash in the 100th episode? He should be. Okay, people ask... Okay, so if you follow my Instagram, I did reveal some leaked photos. I didn't reveal them, didn't show them, but I gave you the information because I can't show them, otherwise it puts the person who gave them to me in jeopardy. And also there's a possibility, because remember when the leaked Flash suit came out, because I was one of the first people that did a video on it, my video actually got taken down by Warner Brothers, so I'm not doing that. I'm risking that again, so I'm going to avoid that. So I will make a video tomorrow going into more depth as to what they were, because I gave like a brief description of them, but I will do a video probably tomorrow. It's probably going to be tomorrow's video about them. However, if you follow me on Instagram, I can give you some like that's the best place to follow me if you want like information that I find out first, because I will give little teasers to it on my Instagram story. So my Instagram should be linked in the description down below. If it's not, I'm going to stab my eyes out. It is down there, so that's very good. So you can go down there, get the little name, and go follow me if you want. So I was just looking at something that popped up on my phone. What are your thoughts on this session? I think I mean season of Supergirl. I think it's really good. It's okay. That's probably the best way to put it. It's just okay. Like, Agent Liberty's really good, but I don't know. It's just okay apart from that. Which league was Nora referring to? Some people going League of Assassins. I was like, it's not League of Assassins. Oh, it's obviously a reference to the Justice League there. Why isn't Flash 5/06 on Netflix? I'm guessing you're in Canada, Robin. I'd have no idea. Don't live in Canada, so I have no idea. Do I prefer Zoom or Reverse Flash? I actually think Zoom had the potential to be better than Reverse Flash. However, his ending was a bit average, to say the least. Yeah, it wasn't that great. Mima420, what a name, with the £2 super chat. Hey, Paige, when is the Flash 100th episode? It's not this week of the Flash, it's next week. So what will be the date when the Flash comes out? It'll be the 27th? 27th, so that means Now I've got to remember if November has 30 or 31 days. November has 30, I'm pretty sure. So that means, with some quick math, that it comes out December 4th. December 4th would be the 100th episode, or December 3rd, one of the two. So yeah, that's when you have to look forward to the 100th episode. I'm interested to see if they tease the 100th episode in the in this week's episode of The Flash, where there's like the end tease or something, like, oh, Cicada, we have to do this, blah, 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 and that's... Because if you didn't know, in the 100th episode, they're time traveling because of Cicada. That's why they're time traveling, so to get some stuff back. Do you think that Haley will fire Alex from the DEO? I think they're more just have Haley there so there is some stuff in the DEO for Alex to do. Because there is no interaction between her and John for the most part in this. So that's probably why she's there. So I don't think she'll get fired. If anything, it'll be some like storyline where Alex is like, oh, I'm better than the higher-ups and succeeds or something like that. What do you think about the 100th episode trailer? Well, that doesn't exist, so unless it's just been uploaded now, but I highly doubt it has. And it has not. So that's not a thing, I'm guessing. Is it Boxer Day for you? Boxer Day? I'm not too sure what that means. Sorry, my dog was just being an idiot over there. I don't know what he was doing. What are your thoughts about Legends so far? I think it's good. I don't think it's as good as last season. How I think it's still very enjoyable to watch. It's a show that I always look forward to watching. Tez with You're a Bit of a Dick. Well, same goes to you, Tez, mate. Welcome. When is clickbait coming to the Flash? You'd have to ask Real World of Flash on Instagram about that. He has all the information. He has just returned from filming. It's only a small cameo. He was in episode 11 that just finished filming. So you can go to Real World of Flash and ask him about that. So that's probably the best area to go to. He'd have all the information about clickbait and his little cameo. I don't think he can reveal too much, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to give you a tease. Do you think Zoom will return permanently? Well, I think it's impossible for Zoom to return permanently because of what happened. I guess it's interesting to see with Barry and Nora time traveling, or whether they change the timeline, because they tried to make time traveling such a sin. However, they're going to use it this season in a positive way, or in that episode. So they could trip over everything they've set up, where they've said, "Oh, time travel's bad. We can't do it." But then they're going to do it this episode. So hopefully they do it in a correct way. And I just wonder if there's going to be some time travel changes. If they're interacting with people from the past, you have to think, okay, well, surely that changes stuff. Unless they're going to deal with people who die, or, quote unquote die. Like Zoom turns into Black Flash and stuff like that. So we could see like them interact with Zoom, I guess Savitar, I guess Reverse Flash, maybe DeVoe because he dies, like Eddie. I don't think Eddie's in the episode, but maybe Eddie if he wants to show up. Ronnie if he's in it. People that are actually dead we could interact with because they're not alive in our future, so they shouldn't really affect the timeline. But who knows? So I'm just looking through the chat. Did you like the dragon? It was random. It was so out of place, but it was I thought it looked really good. I know it was in the dark, so it's easy to do like CGI and stuff, but I thought it looked really good. Probably one of the better action sequences I've seen on any of the shows recently. Will Teddy Sears be in the 100th episode as Hunter Zolomon? No, it's just going to be a stunt dude in a suit most likely, and then Tony Todd will voice him. So I wouldn't expect Teddy Sears to go like, hello, it's me. Like, we're not going to see that, I don't think. Do you think Cicada is defeated after episode 8? Well, they're filming episode 11. Well, they were filming episode 11 like a couple of days ago, and he was on set. He has like a new sort of like trench coat and stuff. I'll probably do a video on that in the next couple of days. I'm intrigued to see what they do with him, because you know, now, currently, I think they could go Cicada the full season. I've just clicked on here accidentally. From now until the end of the season, I think they could do Cicada. But, you know, in those first 3 episodes, there was so much of him. I thought, okay, they're trying to get through his story really quickly. But we had like hardly any of him in the past couple of episodes until like episode 7, really, where you're going to get the flashbacks and all that. So I think that's necessary because then episode 8 is a big thing around trying to take him down. But we know in episode 11 he's still there because they're filming that. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with him. Remember, there's only 22 episodes this season, so theoretically it didn't look like he was being taken down in episode 11. So theoretically you'd have to think, you know, it gets to episode 12 and onwards. And really, that you each episode that he's there, you're losing an episode or another villain coming in. So I'd have to say he's there the whole season. However, I think there's going to be some other stuff going on in the background, which could maybe lead to next season's storyline. So, you know, it's hard to predict at this moment because I'm not a writer. Who knows what's going on? We're really just going off little information from set photos. And I guess what we're seeing on the show at the moment, but we'll find out eventually, I guess. So I'm just going, why is my mouse not coming over here? Thank you. Who are your best villains, seasons 1 to 5? Well, I guess it goes... Savitar's the worst. I can't rate Cicada yet, so it'd be like, well, reverse flash zoom, DeVoe, Savitar, so there you go. I don't like Cicada as a whole season villain. Well, you don't know that. When people say that, I'm like, well, how do you know? I haven't seen the whole season, so how do you know? That's the biggest thing to go against it. Because a lot of people are saying the same about DeVoe. I think DeVoe ended up being a pretty half-decent full-season villain. I think the issue was not really with DeVoe, but how they handled the bus metahuman storyline. Maybe there was too many bus metas. And when it came down to the end, did DeVoe really need all of those abilities? The answer's probably not. So maybe they could have taken away maybe like 4 of those metahumans and made it a bit more simple. And then maybe added in like a Brother Blood type villain that Arrow had in season 2 where they... a bit of a threat in the first half and then they go away. Maybe DeVoe takes them to take their powers or something. I think that's what they probably should have done. But overall, I think DeVoe worked fairly well for the most part. What do you think about Killer Frost being back? Well, she's not, I guess, officially back. Like, she showed up last season, but Caitlyn's still going to, like, tap into her, I guess, properly. But I think she's going to be a big thing against Cicada because from what we learned, you know, Caitlyn's not a meta and Cicada can only really take powers away from metas, you know, that are tied to dark matter and all of that, which could be a reason why Nora isn't affected by Cicada at this point. Then again, she hasn't really, I don't think she's been in too many situations where Cicada would take her powers, but she's like, he hasn't like even attempted, so maybe he can't feel dark matter from her. We'll have to wait and see, but that's because she what do you call it, was born with the powers. She wasn't like given them through like an incident with dark matter and all of that. Mauricio Frost with the $2. You should make some merch. I was crying when someone came back. It's like Killer Frost. Is that meant to be Caitlyn? Is that Killer Frost with an emoji? I think. I'm not too sure, but thank you, Mauricio. I think that's what you're saying there. With the merch thing, I'm still thinking it up. Like, people keep asking me about it, and like, I want to do it, but I'm still like confused because I don't want to just chuck something out there. I'd rather it actually be something good, that's something that I would probably personally buy because it's good. So I want to make stuff that's like sort of like, you know, that if you watch the show, you understand it. It's a meme of the show. That's probably the best way to put it. Like, I wanted to do like a This House is Bitching one. Probably could do a Shui one. Like, Nora's brought in some good stuff. Ralph as a pair. That's a good meme. Obviously, We Are the Flash. That'd be a cracker. And even some other stuff. So there's a different couple of potential merch things, but I don't want to rush into it because I'd rather provide something that's actually half decent and not some piece of crap. So, you know, eventually, maybe in the back half of this season, I'll finally get it done. In the off season, like the mid-season break, I might be able to like put my head down and actually get it done. But we'll have to wait and see. Gary with the $5. Thank you very much for that, Gary. Do you think Batman will ever come to the Arrowverse? I think they're basically confirming through the Elseworlds crossover that Batman won't come in the Arrowverse thing. Our best hope would probably be Bruce Wayne in the Batwoman show, and maybe an episode with Batman. That's a big maybe as well. So I think the best hope would be Bruce Wayne in the Batwoman show, whether it be like a flashback or whether it be just current day, like maybe she goes to Bruce Wayne or something like that. But I wouldn't be expecting Batman himself in the suit and stuff to be showing up in the Arrowverse unless, as I said, like it's one episode, like a quick thing in the Batwoman show. We the Flash should be one. Yeah, We the Flash should be a good little shirt. Well, just thing on merch. This House is Bitchin' would obviously be a good one. Do you think Felicity is really dead in the future or is trapped in hiding like Icicle in the Flash? I think I always go you should go with what the show's saying, but also obviously keep like maybe like a 20% chance of just it's the other way. So I think I'm just going to go with Felicity's dead because I think the story that they gave makes sense. However, there is a chance that she'll be alive and it could be some like thing at the end. And also because she was murdered, she wasn't like some accidental thing, like she was killed, most likely because she was trying to go against this plan to take down Star City at the end. It seems that she could have just faked her death in order to keep herself safe because she was being targeted. So if people think she's dead, then they won't come after her. So maybe she could be faking her death in regards to that. But obviously this future isn't the most bright of futures, so it wouldn't be surprised if she actually was killed. But yeah. In episode 1, Nora said Grodd vs. King Shark will that happen in the future in your opinion? Well, Discussing Film did an interview with is it David Sobolov, the guy that voices Grodd, and he said that they're currently working on it, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be a thing until like it's in the planning stages. Like he didn't know an exact time when it was happening, so it seemed that it might be something later on the season. Like it might be one of those filler episodes in like episode 17 or 18, somewhere around that. But yeah, if you want some in-depth Arrowverse interviews, you should go follow Discussing Film on Twitter. There's your plug for the stream Discussing Film. How old am I? I am 74. Or 73 going on 74. You know, I'm 74 in a couple of days, but 73 at the moment. Do you think that they will do the Cult of Cicada? Maybe. The issue with it maybe is that it could be very similar to Agent of Liberty. Like if you watch Supergirl this season, if they do the Cult of Cicada, like metahumans, let's kill them. It's extremely similar to Agent Liberty with his thing against the aliens. You know what I mean? So they might want to try and avoid that. However, I know they're different writers and stuff, but like people might be a bit like people are annoyed that Oliver went to prison when Barry went to prison last season when they're like, you know, sort of different. Like Barry went there because he was framed for murder, and Oliver went there because he, gave himself up because he was a Green Arrow and stuff like that. So there are different reasons as to why they went to prison, but people still complain about them. I don't even know what the question was. Just completely blanked. Okay, whatever it was, I think I answered it. Oh, do you think I do Cult of Cicada? Because of the Agent Liberty stuff, I don't think they will, but there's a chance. You know, it's in the comics, they can always do it. King Boss 267 with the $5. Hey, is there a Thanksgiving episode in The Flash when Season 5 is supposedly set after Season 4? This week's episode of The Flash is a Thanksgiving episode, so they time jump. And not just a month, not just 2 months, but 4 months by the sounds of it. So I'm going to guess it takes them this long to find out who Cicada is, or at least who his daughter is, or something like that. However, even though they had the name of Grace Gibbons there, I don't know. Unless they're just randomly having Thanksgiving early. Who knows? But they're having a time jump this episode. It's the Thanksgiving episode. And they've said it's Thanksgiving as well. It's not like just presumptions through photos. They said it's Thanksgiving. So there's a time jump. How are they going to explain the in-betweens of the time jump and like things they're skipping over? That'll be interesting, but there is a time jump. Search Pagey in Urban Dictionary. I might do that. Pagey, Urban Dictionary. This is nasty. I'm not going to be happy. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I was not named after that, if anyone wants to know. Fair enough. If you want to go Google that, feel free. It's not pleasant. What's your favourite crossover in your opinion? Crisis. I think the crossovers get better as the seasons go along. I did like Crisis a lot. Rodlin, I think that's the best way to put it. Rodlin Ulysses with the $5. The Flash 506 Caitlin story was too predictable. I got bored, but I understand why. I guess that means you didn't like the previous one, but your bias is showing. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough if there's bias there. But the thing with the Caitlyn story is I think I'm right with it. And I like your opinion. I think I did ask this in my review, and a lot of people did reiterate what I was saying in the comments. The Caitlyn story was affected by the fact that it should have been 2 episodes. Like, it's so clear that story arc with her father should have been a 2-episode arc. Not necessarily like maybe should have been the main one in both, but it should have been a 2. And I know last episode, in episode 5, they did do some stuff there, but it was pretty basic. And a lot of episode 5 could have been cut out. Like, people say I bag on Iris, and it's because the character is, it's not well written. But there was one scene in particular with Iris and Barry where I was like, why does this scene exist? Like, they literally just told us this inside, but now we're coming outside to reiterate this information that we already know. Like, my understanding of why they did it was because it's the scene where Barry and Iris go outside that gala and they're talking to each other, and then it pans up and Ragdoll's on the roof. I actually think that's literally why they did that shot. Well, they did that scene so they could pan up and Ragdoll was on the roof, because the scene was just reiterated information that was inside. And I was like, we've just wasted 2 minutes out here. Like, why are we here? We're listening to the exact same stuff that we heard inside. So there was bits in last episode which could have been cut out and maybe given to Caitlyn. I think what they should have done is that part 1 of the Caitlyn story was all that investigation here when they go to that chem lab and stuff, and then they find out where this area is. They go to that Black Ops site and they meet her father, and it cuts off halfway through that episode, or it cuts off there. And then the second episode, which was the episode we got this week, is them coming to Star Labs and continuing that, that research and stuff, and then he goes evil, and we get the exact same plot line essentially. Would have stretched things out, because one of the big issues that a lot of people had was that it was rushed in like 2 areas, and I agree with that. But I still think the episode worked. It was rushed, but I think it still worked, and I was like, it should have been 2 episodes. Why wasn't it 2 episodes? It was a bit predictable, but I think literally 97% of the stuff on The Flash is predictable. Like, everyone knows what's going to happen most of the time. I guess the only thing that wasn't predictable last season was maybe Ralph coming back. But it was sort of spoiled pretty early on. If you were following Hartley Sawyer on Instagram, you knew he was coming back. Cal? What are you doing? Anyway, thank you very much for that, Rodlin. Jared with the $2. Happy Turkey Day. How warm is Brisbane now? Well, we don't do Turkey Day up here unless it's Christmas. But let me have a look at... What am I meant to be typing in? Let me type in Brisbane weather. I can tell you how hot it is because I'm... Why am I in Fahrenheit? Anyway, it's 23 degrees currently, which is 73 Fahrenheit. So I don't know if that's warm. It's meant to be getting to 84 today. It's meant to be getting to 84 Fahrenheit today, which is 29 degrees. So it's going to be hot and very warm and humid, and I'm not looking forward to it. But thank you very much for that, Jared. Matu? I'm not too sure how I pronounce that name. I'm very sorry about that. With the £2, how long is the 100th episode? It's just going to be a standard episode by the sounds of it. The Flash never really does those extended episodes. They should. I think it's just something with CW where they don't do it. I wish they did. Like, even if it's just like a full-on hour episode, excluding ad breaks, rather than an hour including ad breaks. So that, like, maybe an hour and a half slot would be pretty cool, where the episode's maybe like 60, 65 minutes, and then they give us all those ads. I'd be happy with that. We won't get that, but unfortunately, but what can you do? That's usually why they do the 2-parters, because, they can fit in 2 stories. Why they didn't do that with Caitlyn's story, who knows? But yeah. That's maybe one worry I have about the 100th episode. It might be rushed, but I'm hoping that it should be sweet. I think with the time traveling, they're literally going to stick around like whatever time periods they go to, like for limited times, or they're only going to go to like maybe 2 or 3 time periods. They're not going to go to that many, because we know there's like 2 other storylines going on in that episode. One with, I think, Sherlock and Iris, and then one with Caitlyn as well. Why wasn't Caitlyn's mother in the episode? I don't know. She was listed as being in the episode, so I'm super confused why she wasn't in there. It might have been a deleted scene. I don't know. But yeah, she was meant to be in the episode. She was listed as being in the episode, but didn't show up in the episode, so who knows. It is 2 degrees in England. Lol. Well, stuff that. Actually, I don't mind the cold. I probably prefer the cold over. Like, I don't mind this weather now. Like, when it's humid, it's not that bad. But when it gets really hot here, I'm like, ugh, I wouldn't mind it being a bit colder here. So the 100th episode isn't extended. No, it's just going to be a normal, hour episode, I guess. But if you exclude ads, it's like what, 45 minutes or something like that. Are you guys still doing the 4-channel crossover? Yeah, the crossover is going to be on DJ Eric's channel on Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, which is like, I think, 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Western, I think. I'm just going off the top of my head in regards to time zones, but I think that's how it works. I think that's what I remember Eric saying. Something like that. Okay, sweet. Do you think Cicada will be immortal like the comics? Well, they are sort of hinting that, where the injuries are making him stronger, so they might get to that point, which is why he could get to the point, you know, going on further and further into the season. I think, you know what? Let me know what you guys think about this. Okay, so we know that Cicada's daughter, Grace Gibbons, is currently in the hospital. She's like on life support and all that. She's in a bit of a, you know, she's comatose, I think. What would you think if she died? So Cicada's wife and daughter have officially died now, if we head into the back half of the season. What would your thoughts be if it does basically pick up the comic storyline of Cicada, where he is essentially killing metahumans to get powers in order to bring them back? Like, if he finds out that he can self-heal through his powers, and maybe, like, it could be something little where he finds out he can heal through picking up like a dead bird or a dead rat or something, and what that bird and rat comes back alive, and he finds out he can heal through that. Would you think that would be an okay storyline to go into the back half of the season, where essentially he's just building up power in order to revive his family? What would you think of that? Because I think that's what they could possibly do. I think that'd be pretty good, because once again, it would make a massive moral dilemma. Massive moral dilemma. And I think it'd actually be very good storytelling as well. Massive moral dilemma for Barry and basically everyone involved, because Cicada is trying to bring back his family, which metahumans and specifically events caused by Nora, and specifically Nora, like they're injured by Nora getting involved with the satellite. So it'd be a massive moral issue for Barry, because, you know, this is a dude just trying to bring his family back to life and they were killed by metahumans. And that's obviously a big thing for Nora, because she's the reason that not only his Cicada became Cicada, but the reason that his daughter got injured and potentially died. So I think personally, it might not be something like, oh, it's time travel and the timeline's bending, and it might not be that, but it's just really good storytelling, and it's a good, I think it's just good character building, to be completely honest with all the characters. So personally, I think that'd be pretty decent. Just matters how they execute it. That's probably the biggest issue, because they could execute it pretty poorly. However, if that's what they're leading to, then I'm pretty much on board, because I've always, you know, I wouldn't have minded to see that. And also the fact that Cicada hasn't had that much stuff the past couple of episodes does make me think he's going to get a decent part through the back half of the season. So yeah, hopefully that's what they do. I think that'd be pretty cool. Savitar wasn't that bad. Savitar was pretty good until like the last 5 or 6 episodes, and then it completely shat the bed when it was revealed that it was Future Barry. The fact that Savitar shouldn't have been Future Barry, I think we all agree on that. Savitar shouldn't have been Future Barry, because it just proved that Barry is completely flawed and could become evil at one stage. I think that was really stupid. And I know there's a whole thing in the comics, but I hate that Future Flash storyline in the comics as well, when he's like the Blue Flash. I hated that storyline, wasn't a fan of it. Do you think Nora will watch Barry die or leave right before he does? I think Barry would witness Nora disappearing. That's what I think will happen. I can't see how Nora survives the end of this season without disappearing. Like, fading from existence. I really don't see it. Yeah, people keep asking me about... Obviously, in the episode this week, they go... Like, I was a tad triggered, to be completely honest, as I said in my review. When Sherlock says cicada, like I do, and then Cisco went cicada, like corrected him, and I was like, look, Cisco, calm down, mate. For those that, I've said this, I think, in one review or one video, but I will say it, and I think I said it in a stream as well. For those that aren't aware, the way I say cicada or cicada, I say cicada because where I'm from in Australia, that's how it's said. Everyone says it that way. It's not something where I'm making up the pronunciation. I've asked multiple people, because I was like self-conscious when the show was saying cicada, and then everyone else I was watching was saying cicada as well. I was like, am I brain dead? Am I saying it incorrectly? I was like, no, it's literally how people say the word in my region in Australia. So, yeah, cicada. That's how I'm going to keep saying it because that's how I've always said it my entire life. Like whenever there was a cicada shell, you know, like they break their skin and they go away. Whenever there was, you know, I know in other countries you get that when like the cicadas leave their shell and they leave their like the exoskeleton, whatever it is, the exoskeleton. I don't know what it is. The outside shell, and you get it and you can stick it on people's back because it like clings to their clothing. Always called it a cicada. Asked my mum, asked my dad, asked my friends, asked different people. Cicada. So yeah, there's the explanation. And it's not changing. And like people are getting so triggered the way I say cicada. It's actually pretty hilarious that people are getting triggered over pronunciation of a word. So you know, love me. You know me. I do love to trigger some people. So I'll keep saying cicada. In England, we say cicada. Like it comes down to an accent thing. I've heard. I think is it Northerners say it's cicada as well, like the way I do. I'm pretty sure. I've heard people that say in England they say it the same way they do, that I do. Sorry. So anyway, gonna keep doing it. Which show is the best right now? Arrow, easily. Yeah, the way I say it, I think sounds better. Cicada. It just sounds better. Cicada sounds ugh. Like as a villain, cicada. Ooh, he's coming for you. It sounds so much better than, oh, cicada's coming, run. Like cicada sounds much better. Down in London, we say cicada, not cicada. Well, in London, I won't say what I want to say next. People might get triggered, so let's just leave it as that. Did I like Daredevil season 3? Yeah, for the most part, yeah. There's obviously that episode later on in the season, but I thought it was pretty good. What's your opinion on the new Wells? Well, I think he's just there for Cicada. Like, if Cicada wasn't there, we wouldn't have this new Wells. So, I guess Sherlock will only be there until... Well, I guess if they're tying him in with Nora's storyline for the future, then he could stay around the whole season, I guess. Because when I was thinking, like, Sherlock being there, I was like, okay, he's probably only going to be there for as long as Cicada's there. But I guess if he's getting involved with Nora's storyline, then they might keep him on the whole season. We'll have to wait and see. Do I like Killer Frost's new look? Yeah, her new wig is really good. I'm a big fan of it. It's like blue grey at the top, and then it goes down to blonde, and then it's almost like brown, like normal Caitlyn hair down the bottom. I think it's pretty cool. Do you think Weather Wizard will be killed by Cicada? I think one of them will. Maybe Weather Witch or Weather Wizard. I'd say Weather Witch, maybe. I think they're going to kill one of them with the Weather Witch. I don't think he'd kill Weather Wizard off. Who do you think is the Black Star character in Arrow, and what his or her role in the future is? I'm 99.764% sure that Black Star is the character of Maya that's coming to the show, who will be played by, you can Google it, it's Catherine McNamara, who was on Shadowhunters. She's, yeah, as I said, that percentage-wise, that probability-wise, she is Black Star, because Black Star is described as an underground cage fighter, and the character of Maya is described as, you'd guess it, an underground cage fighter. And also there was a picture on Instagram or something that was shown, which had the guy that plays Future William, and it was a selfie with Catherine McNamara, which basically confirmed she's appearing in the future flashbacks. She started filming for Arrow around the time they were filming episode 7 or episode 8, so it makes sense that she'd show up around then. And the big theory is that she is Felicity and Oliver's daughter from the future. This is 20 years in the future. Catherine McNamara is only 22, so she could play like a 17 or 18-year-old if they wanted her to. So, if it's anyone else other than her, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. Who is Weather Witch? Weather Witch is going to be Weather Wizard's daughter. In the comic, she doesn't have a name, but in Flash, her name is Joss or Joss or something like that. I think it's Joss, like Joss Whedon. It's spelled the exact same way. I say cicada the same way as Pagey, as if it rhymes with other similar words like Granada and Armada. Yeah, Camp Granada, is that from The Simpsons? Yeah, yeah, I think it's a better way to say it. I don't know why. Flash, retcon it. Just call it cicada. It sounds much more lethal. What are your thoughts on... I already answered that. Supergirl, it's okay. Agent Liberty's good. Will they have the 2-part episode this season in The Flash? Well, they didn't have it last season. I hope they do this season. They're moving up to that period where they would be doing it, because usually it's in episode 13 and 14. So I hope they do it. I really, really do. They're filming episode 12 currently. So I really, really hope that they, what do you call it? Do it this season. I don't know why I paused there for so long. Is the Lion King trailer out? If the Lion King trailer was out, I'd probably watch it live on stream. I don't think it's going to come out for... I'm only going to stream for like about 10 more minutes, so if it does come out, then I might stream... I might live... I can't even talk. I might react to it live on stream. I love Lion King. One of my favourite movies when I was a kid. It's coming. Okay, it's coming. Damn it. Yeah, I just looked it up and people saying like I think discussing film like an hour ago. It's coming out in a couple of hours or something. I guess if it's Thanksgiving, they probably want to release it till it's afternoon, more in the afternoon in like LA. I guess I don't know. Savitar was in the Speed Force way longer than Barry. However, Barry was in it for 6 months. Disco said no one has run faster as him. Can you explain? Who knows? As I said, well, not as I said, but yeah, I don't know. Just involving anything with Savitar is confusing because even the writers have admitted that Savitar, they didn't even fully understand what they were doing with the character, so it's hard to even relate anything back to anything that he did, and information they gave in regards to him. So yeah, I don't know. I guess you could argue that maybe because he was in the Speed Force in the suit, that maybe it didn't affect the Savitar Barry and make him as fast. But even then, like, I don't know, it's too confusing. Let's be completely honest, it's too confusing. Who is the black dude that Nora and Constantine saw in Legend? It's Manny. I think it's Manny. People are saying that they've recast him. Because the guy that played him in Constantine Season 1 probably is a bit too expensive to get to play him on Legend, so they've recast the character. Yeah, and I forgot that he like sort of turned on Constantine at the end of Season 1. I just remember him being the angel that was like an ally to Constantine. I just completely forgot that he turned on him. So obviously he's going to be coming back into it. Who knows if he's like the guy that was sort of messing with Constantine that first episode. We'll have to wait and see. He could just be maybe sending people out to do that, but we'll have to wait and see. Just looking through the chat. Sorry, I'm just looking through the chat for something half decent to read out. Who do you think is playing Reverse Flash in the 100th episode, Matt Letcher or Tom Cavanagh? Well, Tom Cavanagh's directing, so it's easy to say that he'll most likely play him if he's going to play him. However, there is a chance that it could be Matt Letcher because Matt Letcher was like incognito and just not there on Instagram during the time they were filming this episode. Now, he did post a photo. It was very vague, like it didn't reveal where he was and stuff like that. Because Narcos finished filming like in June or July or even early August if you want to stretch it that far. So he would have been free to do Flash if they wanted him to do it. So it could be him that's in the 100th episode, hopefully. I want to see... I know people like Tom Cavanagh, Harrison Wells Flash, but I love the Matt Letcher Flash because he is comic accurate. And I just think he does a really, really good job with the character. Like Legends of Tomorrow was really good for him as a character. Like he felt like Eobard Thawne in Reverse Flash. Could Weather Wizard make a rogue team for episode 13 and 14 of The Flash? It's a possibility. As I said, episode 13 will be filming like next week, maybe within the next 2 weeks. So that's for us to wait and find out, I guess. But I think I prefer Weather Wizard over Weather Witch, just because we're established with Weather Wizard, and it feels like he would be able to lead a team. And he's an actual meta as well. It's an important thing to remember. I don't think Weather Witch will be a meta. I think I think that staff she has is the meta thing. I think it's a meta item. Even though the synopsis and description says she's a meta, I think the actual weather vane stick thing is the actual item that's got the meta powers. I think Constantine sent Manny to hell during the cancellation, and he got... Maybe that could be what happens there. There's a lot of time to flesh that story out, I guess. Don't you know the episode titles of episode 8 and further? So would you get them for the Flash? Well, the Flash one's been revealed. It's like what's past is prologue. I think that's the 100th episode, aka episode 8. Episode 10 is Spin Out, and episode 11 is The Flash and the Furious, or the Flash and Furious, one of the two. Did episode 12 come out as well? I don't think episode 12 came out, which is what they're currently filming now. Did it come out? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head if it did. I don't think it did. I think only episode 8, 10, and 11 came out. Can I get a yee-haw? Well, there you go. Yee-haw. Did Legends get confirmed that's being cancelled? No, it did not. Can I dab? Not now. Do you think we'll see Bart Allen? No, I think Nora Allen's basically Bart Allen, which I think is maybe a reason why some people are a bit annoyed at Nora being on the show, because they might have cancelled out Bart Allen ever appearing by having her there. I don't know though. We might. I think that Nora acts a lot like Bart in certain ways, so you have to think she's like an amalgamation of a couple of characters. So I'm just looking through the chat. What do you think Jay Garrick? Jay Garrick could be in the 100th episode. I don't know if he will be. A lot of, as I said, 100th episode, basically all of its filming was indoors or in like alleys and stuff like that, like closed off areas. So it's hard to tell who will be back. I guess the is only if like maybe the people in Canada saw the actors in there, or in Vancouver, might I say, saw the people there. That's probably the best chance at knowing if those characters are going to be back. If you wondering what I'm doing with my hand, Cal's behind me. He's being. Want to see Cal? I'll bring Cal up on stream because we're in the stream soon. Oh, too heavy. Oh, there we go. God, so. Do you want to say something? Do you want to say something? You want to say something? No. Oh God, too heavy. Oh God. No, don't go zoomy now. Wait, no. No zoomies. God, he's too heavy now. Too heavy to pick up. How old is he? He'll be 1 year old on December 11th. So what, like 3 weeks from now, he'll be a year old. Hey. Can you not do that? That's really rude actually, Cal, what you're doing there. Please stop. Cal should follow Discussing Film. Do you want to follow Discussing Film? Hey? You're just looking at me going like, what the hell's that? I'd rather not, please. Birthday stream for Cal. Well, Cal's birthday in Australia will be on the day of the Arrow portion of the crossover, I think. The Arrow episode, yeah, I think it's the Arrow portion of the crossover. So I might do a stream in the morning of that crossover because I don't know if they'll release a trailer or not. So I might do a stream when it's Cal's birthday, who knows. Do I live by myself? I just picked up my dog, so I obviously don't live by myself. I don't know, do you like Discussing Film? He's basically giving me like a no answer sort of thing. Is Flash in Flash? Sorry, who is your favorite character? Probably Flash or Cisco, one of the two. Who do you think should play Owen Mercer if he shows up? Well, I guess he wouldn't have to be Australian, I guess. Well, then again, you know, I don't know if you have to be. He'd probably be half Australian, but I don't know. You probably get an Australian actor to play him, I guess. Hey, stop it. Do I play any popular games? Well, FIFA, I guess. FIFA's probably the game I play the most. But apart from that, I don't play too many things. People were asking me about Twitch before. I might go back to streaming on Twitch in like the next couple of weeks. I don't know though. I have to wait and see. I just wasn't playing too many games, to be completely honest, to stream on Twitch. So yeah. But guys, I'm actually going to end the stream here. We've been streaming for basically just exactly an hour. So thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously I won't have a video today, but I will have a video. I have my Titans review, I guess, later on. And then another, probably the video on the Flash 100th episode leaked images that I got. So keep your eyes. Probably that will most likely be tomorrow's video around this time. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, thank you everyone that tuned in. Hopefully you're having a good day. If you're in America, have a good Thanksgiving. Get extremely fat. Eat all you want. It comes around once a year, I guess. So enjoy that, and I'll catch you guys later. And yeah, goodbye.